वाक्यं मुक्षामूलं गुरुकृपा मुक्षामूलं ग्रन्थये नमो नमः ॐ भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो प्रचोदयात् गंगा यमुना गोदावरी कावरी सरस्वती नर्मदा सिन्धुतीर्थं शमरभयामि ओम तिरुचित्रम्बलम्
Not anymore. Read this side.
शिवाय ओम नमः 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 शिवाय शिवाय नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय नमः ओम नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय नमः नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय नमः नमः शिवाय ओम तिरुचित्रम्बलम् அன்பர்களே பெரியோர்களே தாய்மார்களே சகோதர சகோதரர்களே என் அன்புள்ள உள்ள வணக்கம். இன்று துக்கமான நேரத்தில் நாங்கள் எல்லோரும் கூடியிருக்கிறோம். ஸ்ரீ முதலாக விநாயகர் பூஜையை செய்கின்றோம். அது சார்பாக ஸ்ரீ கொல்லி பூஜையை செய்கின்றோம். அது சார்பாக ஸ்ரீ ஹரிச்சந்திரா பூஜையை செய்கின்றோம். எல்லோருக்கும் இனிய வணக்கங்கள். Greetings to each and every one of you. வணக்கம், நமஸ்தே and நமஸ்காரம். We all gathered here today to bid farewell to a mum, to a grandmother, to a friend, to a sister-in-law, and we are here to give thanks to God at the same time as well. So our procedure outside here is going to be simple. We're going to start with the Ganesha prayer. We're asking Lord Ganesha to remove all obstacles on Ma's path as she's going to start her journey to reach Paramatma. Thereafter, with the immediate family, we're going to do the Kolli. Then we're going to do the Harichandra Puja back to back, seeking his permission. And then we all are going to proceed inside into the hall, where we will all also get a view, and we will be able to sit and participate in the bhajana, in the tevaram and the tiruvasagam that's going to be sung in honor of Lord Shiva. So as we're going to do so, we're going to proceed with our puja. While you're still remaining standing, we're going to do the opening prayer starting with Vinayagar, and once we have opened the box, you are most than welcome to come and have a view and take your seats respectively. And thereafter, once the puja is over, we will proceed inside, where if you want to view again, you are more than welcome to come and view. Mikka nandri, anbulla vanakkam. Om Tiruchitrambalam. Om Gajananam Bhutaganadi Sevitam Kapitta Jambho Palasala Bhakshitam Umashrita Shloka Vinashakaranam Namami Vikneshwara Vadamangajam महागणाधिपतये नमो नमः. ओम महागणपतये तेंगाय तांबूलम नैवेद्यम श्री महागणपतये उन पादमे शरणं शरणं प्रपद्यते. गंगा जलवदि तीर्थं समर्पयामि. वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं गुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा அல்லல் போம் வல்வினை போம் அன்ன வயிற்றில் பிறந்த தொல்லை போம் போகாத துயரெல்லாம் போம் கோபுரத்து மாமருள் வீட்டிற்கும் செல்வ கணபதியை கைத்துருக்கார். ஓம் கங்கா யமுனா கோதாவரி காவரி சரஸ்வதி நிர்மல செந்தூர் தீர்த்தம் சமர்ப்பயாமி. ஓம் ஹரிச்சந்திரனே வழிவிடு பரமசிவனை கதவை தொர போன ஆத்மா நற்கதியே அருள்மிக சாந்தி ஹஸ்து சாந்தி ஹஸ்து சாந்தி ஹஸ்து. ஓம் திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். உலகலாம் உணர்ந்து ஓதற்கு அறியவன் நிலவுலாவிய நீர்மால வேண்டியன். உலகலாம் உணர்ந்து ஓதற்கு அறியவன் நிலவுலாவிய நீர்மால வேண்டியன். அலர்கள் சோதியன் அம்பலத்தில் ஆடுவான். அலர்கள் சோதியன் அம்பலத்தில் ஆடுவான். மலர் சீலம்பதி வாஸ்தி வணங்குவோ. மலர் சீலம்பதி வாஸ்தி வணங்குவோம். ஓம் சிவாய திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். நன்றி. அமருங்கள். Family and friends, you're more than welcome to come and meet.
Lakshmi Jai Sri Lakshmi Rakshama Saravana Bhava Saravana Bhava Saravana Bhava Pahimam Subramanya 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 Rakshama Dattatreya 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 Pahimam Datta Guru Datta Guru Datta Guru Rakshama Sivananda 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 Pahimam Sivananda 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 Rakshama Jaya Guru Shiva Guru Hare Guru Ram Jagat Guru Param Guru Sadguru Sham Adi Guru Advaita Guru Ananda Guru Om Chit Guru Chitala Guru Chinmaya Guru Om Jaya Siya Ram Jaya Jaya Siya Ram Jaya Siya Ram Jaya Jaya Siya Ram Jaya Radhe Shyam Jaya Jaya Radhe Shyam Jaya Radhe Shyam Jaya Jaya Radhe Shyam Jaya Hanuman Jaya Jaya Hanuman Jaya Hanuman Jaya Jaya Hanuman Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Sivananda Sivananda Sadgurunatha Sivananda 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 Sadgurunatha Sivananda 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 Sadgurunatha Sivananda.
The grandchildren and the immediate family that's going to participate in the prayer. Namah Shivaya, Om 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 Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Shivaya Namo. Shivaya Namo. Shivaya Namo. 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 Namah Shivaya. Om 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 Namah Shivaya. Shivaya Namo. Shivaya Namo. Shivaya Namo. 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 Namah Shivaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Om Namah Shivaya. 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 Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Shivaya, Om Namah 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 Shivaya, Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya, 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 Om Namah Shivaya. Tirusitrambalam. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Om Namah Shivaya, Namo Namah. 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 Iradilam Namah Shivaya, Pagadilam Namah Shivaya, Iravilam Namah Shivaya, Pagadilam Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Namo Namah. 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 ஐந்தடத்தில் பிறந்த நான், ஐந்த விஷத்தில் வளர்ந்த நான், ஐந்தடத்தில் பிறந்த நான், ஐந்த விஷத்தில் வளர்ந்த நான். நம சிவாய, ஓம் நம சிவாய, நம சிவாய, ஓம் நம சிவாய, ஓம் நம சிவாய, நமோ நமः. 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 ஓம் நம சிவாய, நமோ நமः.
Guru Maharaj, Guru Ji Ji.
ஆத்மீகமாக நிற்கின்ற ஆத்மாவை நற்கதி அருள்மிகு சாந்தி அருள வேண்டும். போன ஆத்மா ஸ்ரீமதி கோவிந்தம்மா நாயுடுவுடைய ஆத்மாவை நற்கதியை சாந்தி அருள வேண்டும். श्री महा हरिचंद्रमूर्ति तेंगाय तांबूलम नैवेद्य पूजा संदर्शयामि. गंगा यमुना गोदावरी कावरी सरस्वती नर्मदा सिंधु तीर्थम समर्पयामि. कर्पूरं नीराञ्जनं समर्पयामि. पूर्वदीप कर्पूरदीपम् आराधनीयं समर्पयामि. ॐ पदम् नैवेद्यं मङ्गलरसि नैवेद्यं फलवं तेंगाय ताम्बूलं नैवेद्यं slowly pa.
Bhagavan Saranam Bhagavati Saranam 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 Ayyappa. Bhagavan Saranam Bhagavati Saranam 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 Ayyappa. Muruga Saranam Murugan Saranam 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 Ayyappa. Muruga Saranam Murugan Saranam 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 Ayyappa. Hari Om Saranam Hariye Saranam 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 Ayyappa. Hari Om Saranam Hariye Saranam 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 Ayyappa. Sivame Saranam Sivaye Saranam 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 Ayyappa. Sivame Saranam Sivaye Saranam 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 Ayyappa. Kanda Saranam Kandan Saranam 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 Ayyappa. Kanda Saranam Kandan Saranam 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 Ayyappa. Perumal Saranam Perumal Saranam 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 Ayyappa. Perumal Saranam Perumal Saranam 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 Ayyappa. Vishnu Saranam Govinda Saranam 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 Ayyappa. Vishnu Saranam Govinda Saranam Saranam Saranam
Shivaya. Om Namah 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 Please take your seats respectively. Those of you that haven't viewed the faces yet, you are more than welcome to come through on this way, offer your petals, and then take your respective seats. He will be taking over from me from now until the end of the service. So he'll be coordinating the service and the tributes that's going to be taking place. And I'll hand you over to Sorry, come in.
The God in me greets the God in you. Good afternoon, family, friends, and the officiating priests. We are gathered here today to bid farewell and to celebrate the life of our much loved and dear mum, grandmother, sister, aunt, and friend, Mrs. Govindamma Naidoo, who passed away on the 18th of October. And she will now join her late husband, Uncle Bo. It is quite a difficult task and quite a difficult ask when you lose somebody that you love. And I'm happy that we are all here together to support each other. I know, had this been at a different venue and had this not been during a COVID, the hall would be far too small and will be overflowing. We also thank and we acknowledge those that are viewing the proceedings via streaming. I have Panj for the past 3 decades. My introduction to Panj was when a niece was lucky enough to meet me and to marry me. Okay, I'm going to withdraw one part of it, but it's not the part about the niece. It's about the part about a niece. A niece was not a niece, but a niece was a daughter. Grandma Panj might have had 5 biological children, and she might have had 10 grandchildren. However, in reality, she had another 8 children and another 13 grandchildren, and currently 5 great-grandchildren. For those of you that may know, Panj lost a sister when her sister was very young. And her sister had 2 young children. One was about 10 months and the other about 2 years old. Living in the times in which we live and in which people had a semi-communal type of living, it was important that family gathered around and supported each other. And Panj then took the maternal role within that family. And it is therefore that the Pillai side of the family views Grandma Panj, Auntie Panj, as a mother. I can go on and talk a lot about Panj, but it will be remiss of me, for there are speakers that will indulge you more as to the character of Auntie Panj. I'd like to call upon the first speaker, but prior to me doing that, I feel duty-bound to actually remind you, whilst I'm aware that all of you are familiar with the protocols relating to COVID, I want to stress a few important aspects. Number 1, please keep your mask on at all times, sanitize, and social distance as much as possible. I can see that we're not too well social distance at the moment, but I'm hoping that you're sitting closely with family and people that you have spent the past few days with. Also, while standing here, I may sometimes say things that may cut across. Sorry, please understand that when you stand here, it becomes very emotional. A funeral is a very emotional time, and sometimes the logic that you have, the thought process that you have, sometimes get lost. So if I do make any mistakes, if I do get my concord wrong, if there's anything that I say, please forgive me. Or the walking around. Okay. And also, as I was saying earlier, if I do cut across what someone else is saying, please understand that when you're caught up in the emotions of things, you are not as logical or as rational as is expected to be. Just a small request. Okay, you must please walk onto the left of the coffin as you're entering. My left, it'll be your right, and come around. I'd like to call the first speaker, who is the grandson, Trinesh Naidoo.
Thank you, Uncle Tony. Good afternoon, family. So our cousins, there's a speech that we've put together, and I'm going to read it out from all of us. When we lose someone we love, we must learn not to live without them, but to live with the love they left behind. Ma leaves behind 10 grandchildren who she loved, and her love and legacy will continue to live on through all of us. On behalf of all of the grandkids, we are grateful for all of the love, support, and memories that everyone has shared with us over the last few months. We thank you and appreciate all the time, effort that everyone has taken to share in the memories of Ma's life today. As grandkids, we were all fortunate to have grown up with our grandmother and become adults who spend time with her, learned from her, and will always have fond memories of her. Unfortunately, most of us did not even meet our grandfather, so it made it even more special to have had the privilege of having so many years with Ma, to have gotten to know our grandfather through her. We all miss our grandmother, but we are grateful to have been able to spend time with her, celebrate our major milestones with her, and grow up in front of her. Although the pandemic has taken a lot of time away from us and separated families, it also made us realize the importance of families and the value of the time spent with them. Every family gathering, even in circumstances like this, have become opportunities to appreciate spending time with your family, and I know that it's something we won't take for granted in future. Over the last 2 years, we weren't able to spend as much time with Ma, fearing the risk of her health and all of our own. But the times we did spend with her were meaningful, and our memories that we will always be able to look back on and share with our families one day. Ma slowly deteriorated over the last 2 years, and it became difficult to see her struggle as she slowly drifted away and lost her strength. Over the last 2 months, it quickly spiraled, and the grandmother we knew slowly wilted away. We are comforted knowing that she is no longer in pain or suffering, but is at peace. She enjoyed spending time with us and made the most of the time she had with us. We will remember her like that always. So just to add on while I'm here at the podium, I just wanted to share a couple of fun memories that I have had with Ma as a grandson. So I think I'll start at the very beginning, where I remember us staying in Hillary, and I must have been around 3 years old or 4 years old. And at that time, if you want to know what the definition of a tunsul was, it was me. And Ma would always remind me that I was a tunsul, because I would play pranks on her, and things like leaving toy snakes on the ground so she would jump when she walked, or I would go into the garage where she kept her insulin, stand on the stool and then spray it as if it was a water gun. But Ma never got angry at me, and she would say it, she would scold me, but she would say it like this, exactly like this. She said, "Trini, man." That is exactly how she would say it. And I'm sure you all could hear as I said it now. And then we moved on in life, and we got to stay in the house in Eskom Primary. In Eskom. And I was around probably between 6 and 10 years old, and Ma would be in the outbuilding in the back, so I would always go to the back, and I'd tell Ma, okay, I'm going to come for a sleepover. So I'd go over to her, and it was routine. Around 5:30, 6 o'clock, Lotus FM will be on, Bhakti Sangeet will be playing, and we would listen to the whole program. And it used to, I wouldn't say as far as irritate me, but Ma will always sing one beat off of the song that was playing on the radio. And it just used to say, "Ma, sing properly, Ma." And to her, she was singing fine, but I couldn't say anything more. And then then after Bhakti Sangeet was over, we jump into bed, and Ma called it yoga. So I'll be lying next to her, and we're on our back, and we'll lift one leg up at a time. For 5 seconds, we'll put it down. Then the other leg will pick up, 5 seconds, and we'll put it down. So we are in the bed doing this and lifting our hands up and down for Ma's yoga. So if anybody wants to know how she kept fit during the day, it was because we were doing anaerobics in bed. So, and then life also carried on, and Ma was staying in Orchid Gardens next to Pick and Pay. And so I would go for jogs, and I would go and see Ma. And there was a little intercom that you had to press for her to know that you were there. It's like a little bell. So when I used to go and visit her, I used to not press the bell once like a normal person. I used to hold it down so that it rang continuously. And she would just know, because she'd pick up the phone and she'd say, Trini. And then I'll start laughing now because it was a big joke for me. And then she'll open up the gate. And I'd go up and we'd spend time talking about Papa. And we'd spend time talking about the relationship that they had and about how she grew up, and back when pence and shillings was the currency of this country. And afterwards we would sit and eat lunch together, because Ma always had 3 different kinds of curries cooked. So it was almost as if she knew I was coming and she had prepared. So we'll sit and we'll have lunch and we'll chat and we'll just catch up again. And then routine again. She'll say, Trini, go look in the fridge, there's a Magnum ice cream waiting for you. And then I'll have to go and get that Magnum. Now, if you all know Ma, you know she's diabetic. So Ma and Magnum ice cream, they were inseparable. And no matter how many times I tell her, you cannot eat this because it's too sweet, this line was always there. This Magnum ice cream doesn't push my sugar up. It's fine. It's okay. You can eat it. You can eat it. So that was Ma. She had a sweet tooth, and then we moved up to Joburg. And when she was staying in Lodium, then I gave in to the sweet tooth. So every now and again at the Lodium, at the home, I would go there and visit her, and I'd take like a mini donut, but I'd just smuggle it in. So we'd wrap it up in the tissue paper, and we'd have to slyly pass it to Ma so that nobody else could catch us giving all the sugar. So the sweet tooth never ended. And then lastly, when I last saw Ma, the last time I saw Ma was at the step-down facility. And I went in there to see her and just to spend time with her. And she was sleeping when I got there. But she woke up and we started to chat a bit. And she asked how campus was and how things are going. And so we just chatted, and then I could see that she was tired because she'd just woken up and she looked really tired and exhausted. So I'm holding her hand and I'm saying, okay, Ma, you know what, I'm gonna go now because I can see that you're tired. And then she looks at me and she says, no, man, you don't have to go. I'm okay. I'll keep awake. This time is so precious. And something in me that day told me that was the last time I was going to speak to Ma. And I said, I'll see you soon. But I knew in my heart I wasn't going to. But I just held on to her hand a little bit longer that day. And I spent a lot of time with her. And I'll never forget the touch of her hand in my hand, because that was, it was such a special connection, really. And if there's one thing that I want to pass on to my siblings or my cousins here, is, and Savesh actually reminded me of this. So Ma always would speak about how education was so important. And it's a weapon that you cannot take away from somebody. So I want to push that message through for all of us and for even our children one day. Let us remember that teaching that Ma had. That education is the most important. Let's take that forward so that we never forget it. And right now, as I'm concluding, I just want to thank Ma for everything that she has done. She has been such an amazing grandmother, full of goodies, biscuits, and for putting up with all of the nonsense that I put her through, and for always being supportive. I think Ma will always take time, and she'd one of the things she also used to do was, if ever I was with her and I met someone, and I don't know aunties from uncles, and, but Ma knew so many people. And so she'd call me from anywhere, whether it was in the temple during Kaveri or in the mall, or if she's selling AMC pots in Pick and Pay, and if I was there, she'd come and she'll grab me, she'll hold me, and she'll call that person and she'll say, see, this is my grandson. This is my grandson. This is Trini. So she was always proud of me and proud of all of us, actually. And I'm supposed to be extremely sad right now, but I'm so happy that I got to spend and celebrate the life that she had with her. And I'm so grateful that I was her grandson. And I got to spend all of that time with her and make those memories with her. So yeah, thank you, Ma. Like I said, I will see you soon. I love you lots. Thank you.
Thank you, Trinesh. Very well said, very well spoken, and with a lot of humor as well. That's how your that's how your grandmom would have loved it. She was always a person that believed in laughing. And when you spoke about the sweet tooth, it took me back some time. As you can see, I also live to eat. And, like your grandmom, she was always there to give us biscuits and cakes. And she'd make an effort to ensure that whatever she baked or whatever she made, she will send it to, to each of us. And in terms of feeding people, she would always, she'll always provide the best. For those that know Panj well would know that she loved the best, but she also loved giving off her best. And that is what actually drove her. And I'll move on to the second speaker. I want to call upon Vino, who will now pay a tribute.
If there's anything I would take away from my mother, it's her resilience, her tenacity, and her pursuit of togetherness. My mother demonstrated resilience and tenacity in every phase and sphere of her life. Even with very little means, she found ways to generate an income. With small children and huge responsibilities on the domestic front, she went on to pursue things like hairdressing, promotions, and then became an AMC consultant, something that she proudly pursued with the most incredible drive for more than 40 years. When my father passed on, she found a way to stand on her own 2 feet. She went on to fill her days by participating in, and in some instances, initiating new activities. Everyone that knows her well will know how big a part of her life yoga, the senior citizens, and the art of living was. As one of her many children, and I'm not referring to just her biological children, she prided herself in fostering togetherness. And I'm sure we've all heard those famous words of her, "I like being around people." It is most likely the reason why we, as her children, drew on the love, strength, warmth, and equally from both my mother and father's family. It is why she continued to speak so proudly of her relationships with her dear cousins and longtime friends. It's the reason why we, as her children, remain ever connected. I can only attribute this to the good values, the need for unity, and the desire to give selflessly, which was imparted by both my mother and my father. This was the most precious gift that our parents could have given us. We also know how important food, the important role food had played in her life. My mother, like most mothers, brought people together with her delicious food and showed how much she cared by preparing their favorite dishes. Her calling me as soon as I arrive in Durban to say that she already bought our favorite foods and the goodies for the children. I remember her taking the bus to town to get sutarfeni for me as a treat while I was pregnant with Mayuran. I am grateful for all the effort she has made to be present for us when our babies were born, even being there to complete what she needed to do for Sharanya before caving into her illness and ending up in hospital after taking the bus up from Durban when she came up to take care of Mayuran. If there's anything we can take away from the legacy my mother left behind, is that we should always do the best we can and be the best versions of ourselves, for us as individuals and for our children. And while she was very steadfast in her ways and expectations, it was equally as important for her to give back with the same level of expectation. The same level of pride and perfection. Ma, I want to thank you for all your love, your sacrifice, your persistence and determination. Your fighting spirit continued until your last breath. Thank you for giving us the opportunity, especially in the last few months, to love you, to feed you, and to make peace where we needed to. Despite your intense suffering, you made it easy for us to stay connected with you. I know that because of this, while you make your journey to that beautiful place to be with Daddy, the rest of your dear family, and Jiva, my healing has begun. Go well, Ma. We love you always.
Thank you, Vino, for that very, very heartfelt message. We now have a video tribute from Kasturi, who lives in Canada.
I'm going to be reading my message. Firstly, I'd like to say thank you to everyone, both physically and virtually, for being with us today to celebrate the life of the most remarkable, strong and resilient woman I've ever known, my dearest mother. I have lost a most wonderful mother, companion, advisor and mentor. I'm so honored to have been her daughter, and I'm grieving the amazing relationship I had with her and for all her grandchildren and my children who have only known their beautiful grandmother for such a short time in their lives. We've all suffered such a huge loss. She taught us what is really important in life, and that's to love, support and care for friends and family in our lives. To Vijan, Premla, Raveen, Avina, Indran and Vino, words could never express my gratitude and the depth of my love for you all. Thank you so much for being there for Ma and for each other and doing all the things I could not do being so far away. I could not imagine a life without you all. I love you all infinitely. Ma is going to be missed by so many, but her memory will live on in us all forever. To Ma, I love you so much, Ma. And I will miss you more than I could ever say. Rest in peace till we meet again.
A tribute to the late Panj Naidoo from the Amstatuzana Senior Citizens Club. Panj, as she was affectionately known to us, was a founder member of the club. She will be remembered for her contribution while she was a member. She was humble, loving, and caring. We looked up to Panj and was never afraid to raise a voice when she felt something was wrong. She was respected and liked by all of us. Go well, dear friend. We are sure God has his arms open wide to receive you. Rest well, sweet soul, till we meet again. It's on again. Okay. I'd like to now hand over to the Bhajan group, who will continue the Bhajan.
श्री माता
नमो नमो वाणी नमो नमो काली नमो नमो दुर्गा श्री माता नमो नमो लक्ष्मी नमो नमो गौरी नमो नमो शक्ति परदेवता नमो नमो लक्ष्मी नमो नमो गौरी नमो नमो शक्ति परदेवता नमो नमो जननी नमो नारायणी नमो नमो रौद्री श्री माता नमो नमो जननी नमो नारायणी नमो नमो रौद्री श्री माता नमो नमो पार्वती नमो नमो गायत्री नमो नमो शाम्भवी परदेवता नमो नमो पार्वती नमो नमो गायत्री नमो नमो शाम्भवी परदेवता नमो नमो शारदा नमो नमो ललिता नमो त्रिपुर सुंदरी श्री माता नमो नमो शारदा नमो नमो ललिता नमो त्रिपुर सुंदरी श्री माता नमो नमो भगवती नमो भवानी नमो महेश्वरी परदेवता नमो नमो भगवती नमो भवानी नमो महेश्वरी परदेवता नमो नमो वाणी नमो नमो काली नमो नमो दुर्गा श्री माता नमो नमो वाणी नमो नमो काली नमो नमो दुर्गा श्री माता
Good afternoon, family and friends. I say a very, very big thank you to everyone for availing yourselves to be present and supporting us through this ordeal today. I must, we're very grateful that people have come from Durban, got on the planes and got down as quickly as possible, and have come to actually, I want to say, celebrate the day, because it almost seems so surreal, being present and doing the rites, performing the rites, etc., and being with everybody. And we here to perform the last rites for my mother. And I think, again, it's a wonderful testament to the way she lived that everybody's present here. I want to read a poem that we've identified, and I want to share this with you. And there was such lovely messages, and the theme was from everybody that spoke and everybody you speak to. Describe my mother in the same way: a sweet soul, caring, with a lot of patience. But I'd like to share this poem with you and think about it as we celebrate this transition from this physical plane into the realms of the gods. Right. You can shed tears that she's gone, or you can smile because she has lived. You can close your eyes and pray that she'll come back, or you can open your eyes and see all that she's left. Your heart can be empty, but you can't see her. Your heart can be empty because you can't see her. Or you could be full of love you shared. You could turn your back on tomorrow and live yesterday, or you can be happy for tomorrow because of yesterday. You can remember her only that she's gone, or you can cherish the memory and let it live on. You can cry and close your mind, be empty and turn your back, or you can do what she'd want. Smile, open your eyes, love, and go on. So I think we need to think about those last bit of words, because I think with Amma, she, having spent the last few days or the last couple of months when we would sit and chat, and all she would say and remind us is that I'd like everybody to be together. I'd like the families to stay together and remain. And as Vino alluded to earlier on, she always wanted to have people around her and share that love. So I've actually decided, or basically I just want to thank everybody, but particularly my brothers and my sisters. Start with Raveen, for spending the time taking care of her when she lived with him in Hillary. And Indran, I think a special thanks goes to you. I think you've extended her life by bringing her, taking care of her very diligently. I think the number of times we were called to the hospital to say we must say goodbye to her. And when she came and spent the time with you, and you took special care of her, made sure she took her medication on time because she was over-medicating herself. Being as stubborn as she was, she wanted to stay in Durban, stay on her own and be independent. Those are fierce traits, that independence and stubbornness. And we admired that, but it came to a point where we were advised that she needed to be managed. Hence we made the decision to bring her down. But the sacrifice, I don't think you would call it sacrifice. I think you served her well. And we really appreciate that. Also, I think given, on the passing of Jiva, you said that you wanted her to spend the time with us. But I think we were very blessed that we had these last few months, even through tragedy and difficulties, that we had time to engage with her, to be with her, to share with her, and for her to be surrounded by her children. That's all she wanted, and that's all she ever asked for. Also to say a very special thank you to Mr. Vasi Naidoo and his wife Salvi, who took very good care at the Lodium facility when we were asked to put her there for frail care and to tend to her. They were phenomenal people. They've tended to her. They took great care of her when she was there, and they became a special part of their lives as well. I would like to say thank you to Managa Pale for the flowers, Auntie Shirley, Larishka, Kojay, for making the necessary arrangements for the refreshments and being with us through the last few days. I think, again, I keep saying this day is surreal. It doesn't feel, it really feels like a celebration that she's moving on I think our Hindu customs teach us that, we shouldn't mourn at this point. We should really celebrate this occasion. And yes, we may identify with her as a mother, but she's on this evolution and the soul's journey that we're all on, onwards, forwards, and we're going forward to Godward. And that's where we come from. We must always take this moment, take this event to remind ourselves that we're all on this journey. And my mother is now going to the next phase of her journey. And I'm pretty sure, with all the suffering and from our understandings of our teachings, they teach you that, yes, we couldn't bear to see her suffer, but it was her process, what she chose. And like in life, they say when you produce 24 karat gold, you go through the furnace of life. It's an intense process. It's quite a harsh process. I think her soul went through that process so she can present herself to her Creator in that pure form. So I think that, we need to recognize that, and we need to wish her well on this journey. And these devotions and rituals that we perform help her to move forward. So again, I'll ask everybody, and I'm glad that you observed it. I can see with everybody that's present here, this is really a celebration of her life. I also like to thank Trishen for his help, and Ahmed Bam and the Gift of the Givers. He's been a phenomenal brother to Raveen in his support and the family. I don't know if he's present, but thank you so much, Ahmed. The Gift of the Givers as well. And Cecil, my mom's friend, Cecil and Val in Durban, they've been really, really great friends to her. If I had forgotten to mention anybody, please forgive me. It's very difficult to remember everybody in this time, but thank you very, very much for all the support, the love, and everything that you've done. I want to share something with you as well, that while we spent the last few days with my mother and in prayer, and I think it's what she would have liked, we also spent some time speaking about our past experience and reflected on the day my father passed. And one of the things I said to him, you may not have given us all the material comforts, you may not have, been all the time or been perfect in the way you are, but we are truly grateful to be your children, because my father's family and my mother's family had an unbelievable way that they would love you and share this love. They understood what unconditional love. I said, if you do not give us anything else but that's the trait we take from you, then we will serve you well in sharing that love. So when I was thinking about my mother and what characteristics she brought to us and how we need to take her legacy forward, I think that the thing that she taught us was to pray. Yes, we had argued about the rituals and everything that she would do, but she instilled in us a sense of spirituality, and also, she taught us how to be patient and tolerant, and that's something that we need to take forward and cherish. So again, thank you very much for coming through. Really appreciate it, and thank you for the wonderful support to the family. Thank you, brother.
Andre, shall we all rise?
Thank you.
Take this and put it there. Just stand it this way.
அம்மா என் தெய்வம் நீதானே என் அம்மா உன்னால வாழ்ந்துற பார்த்த மாசம் சுமந்த பேட்ட எங்கள் வளர்த்தடியே என் அம்மா என் அம்மா என் அழகு அம்மா தூக்கி வளர்க்க எங்கள் அம்மா பாலூட்டி பார்ப்பது எங்கள் அம்மாதான் தூக்கி வளர்க்க எங்கள் அம்மா பாலூட்டி பார்ப்பது எங்கள் அம்மாதான் என் அம்மா என் அழகு அம்மா என் அம்மா என் அழகு அம்மா என் அம்மா என் தெய்வம் நீதானே என் அம்மா உன்னால வாழ்ந்துட பார்த்த மாசம் சுமந்த பெற்ற எங்கள் வளர்த்தடியே என் அம்மா என் அம்மா என் அழகு அம்மா இருவையும் ஆனாலும் தூக்கி போட்டு தொட்டில போட்டது தாலாட்டு வையம்மா இரவையம்மானாலும் தூக்கி போட்ட தொட்டில போட்டது தாலாட்டு வையம்மா என் அம்மா என் அழகு அம்மா என் அம்மா என் அழகு அம்மா என் அம்மா என் தெய்வம் நீதானே என் அம்மா உன்னால வாழ்ந்துற பார்த்த மாசம் சுமந்த பெற்ற எங்கள் வளர்த்தை என் அம்மா என் அம்மா என் அழகு அம்மா என் அழகு அம்மா என் அழகு அம்மா ஓம் நம சிவாய 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 சிவாய நமோ சிவாய நமோ சிவாய நமோ நம சிவாய சிவாய நமோ சிவாய நமோ சிவாய நமோ நம சிவாய ஓம் திருச்சிற்றம்பலம் என்னாருடைய சிவனே போற்றி எந்நாட்டவர்க்கம் இறைவாய் போற்றி 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 அருள் பெருஞ்சோதி அருள் பெருஞ்சோதி தனி பெருங்கருணை அருள் பெருஞ்சோதி ஹர நம பார்வதி பதையே ஹர ஹர மகாதேவா ஹர நம பார்வதி பதையே ஹர ஹர மகாதேவா ஹர நம பார்வதி பதையே ஹர ஹர மகாதேவா கோவிந்தா 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 ஓம் நம சிவாய 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 ஓம் நம சிவாய